This is Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Batalico, I'm Michael Barkham, Ben Davis in a moment from Citi Field. We'll hear from Rob Thompson, Zack Wheeler, and other interviews from the Phillies clubhouse. Here's the thing, they're outscored 11-2 in the last 4 games. You heard Tom McCarthy say 18 innings scoreless, but really, if you exclude the runner placed on second base at the top of the 10th on Friday night, they have not scored in 26 innings. And Ricky Bo, what's more, 2 for 21, RISP, 0 for 10 in that category today. What do we make of the last now 4 games?
0 for 10 is obscene. You know what? You could accept every once in a while having a game against the Jacob deGrom or Scherzer. But to go a 3-game set the way they did, and especially in a Sunday afternoon where the game means something. This is where games do mean something. I understand, okay, it's the New York Mets. I know they're one of the better teams in the National League. But show up. At least show up on a Sunday afternoon with your ace on the mound. Because I will go, not only did they go 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position, but I thought in that one inning where things fell apart for Zack Wheeler, the defense didn't help Zack Wheeler at all. And fundamental baseball was not there for the Phillies in this one.
Yeah, at that point, 1 run was all the runs that the Mets needed again, and that 4th inning was the fateful inning for the Phillies defense today. Let's go to Citi Field, check in with Ben Davis, call today's game with Tom McCarthy. Ben, thanks for being with us. Talk a little bit about that 4th inning. I'm not saying Zack Wheeler was great, had his best stuff, but certainly the defense did not help him at all.
No, it did not. And, you know, they had some bloopers in there. Obviously, a lot of the exit velocities on those hits were in the 60s. I'm not trying to make excuses, but he was staying off of barrels, not getting rewarded for it. But, yeah, you know, Brandon Marsh has a play that he would like to have back, I'm sure.
I mean, you can't tell people that you can't go into games thinking, oh, we're beaten because this guy's better than we are or whatnot. Because, you know, even after the game, Stott was like, you know, it's Scherzer. It's Scherzer, or it's deGrom last night. It's deGrom. You can't. We know we're not going to score many runs. I mean, I think their attitude should have been like, let's take this guy out early, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure they have that attitude. It's just deGrom went out there and he did what he did. The thing I didn't like about some of the at-bats is even the 2-strike approach. If I were facing deGrom, I'd have a 2-strike approach the entire time. I would try and be as short to the baseball as possible. But there were some big swings. Today against Bassett with 2 strikes, kept chasing that fastball up. I said one thing the Phillies hitters have to do today is lay off that high fastball. Unable to do it. Not only were they chasing out of the zone, but the swings were so hard. They were just over-swinging, and that's not going to get the job done, especially against some guys with some higher velocity.
Ben, you look at many playoff teams, if not World Series champions, and they've lost 8 in a row, 10 in a row, sometimes twice in one season. So there is the temptation to just write this off to, hey, they lost 3 of the last 4 games. The last one to Miami, they were shut out. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets. Okay, they could be the World Series champs. Let's just write that off and keep on going. That would be the temptation. Should we do that?
I would hope we can try to do it. Although today I think it's going to leave a little bit more of a bitter taste in the players' mouths because of the opportunities. You don't like to squander those opportunities. Again, Zack Wheeler pitched okay, not the Zack Wheeler we're accustomed to. But I think today's game is going to be like, yeah, we could have done a whole lot more with that in that ball game. Again, we had 2 hitters in the 4th and 5th inning. We had 2 hitters that hit in consecutive innings in Hoskins and Bohm, and we didn't score. So that tells you how much of a problem that is, that they squander those opportunities. But I think it's going to be a little bit different today, and they're going to go into Cincinnati with some kicking some tail.
In fact, at least 1 run, if not 2 or 3 runs, to come by the wayside during that. And it's disappointing. I mean, you got to be a little disappointed in JT. I think most people have been disappointed in Nick Castellanos pretty much all season long. And the funny part is Nick comes up later, gets a couple of hits in the ball game, but there was nobody on base. I mean, that's not helping anybody out in that type of situation.
Back up to Citi Field, and here's Rob Thompson from the Phillies clubhouse.
Series was you talked about measuring yourself against a really good team. How do you come out of here feeling after being shut out twice? I know the pitching was really good.
Yeah, pitching's good. And, you know, we've seen pitching now from the Miami series all the way through here. And, yeah, I mean, we had some trouble scoring runs in this series, obviously, but part of it's due to good pitching. Part of it's also due to the fact that when the runs are at a premium, sometimes you try to do too much, and I saw a lot of that today.
Exacerbated maybe by not having Schwarber?
No, I just think just by not scoring many runs, that's all. And so we just got to get back to basics and keep the line moving and not try to do too much.
Even though I know you faced great pitching here the last few days, but the strikeouts are just very, very high the last 4 games. How much of a concern?
Well, we've been doing that at times this year, and we've gone through this at times this year where we're trying to do too much. We just got to get back to basics. Have good at bats, swing at strikes. Think small and big things happen.
What's going on with Cable?
It's a lat strain. He'll go back to Philly tonight, and he'll get an MRI tomorrow. Figure out what it is.
Which one?
Throwing.
Yeah. Would Coonrod be in play if?
Possibly. Yeah.
He would be far enough along.
Yeah, we'll have to check him out, make sure he's healthy, and but he's a name for sure. Him, Appel. Yeah.
When obviously you've been doing quite well without Bryce, I mean almost incredibly well, but when you do remove Schwarber, who's become something of a presence in there for a stretch there, what does that do to your lineup?
Well, obviously it weakens it because he's one of the best hitters in baseball this year, and but as I said all along, guys got to step up and they got to have good at bats and do some little things to help the club and help us score runs.
So, I mean, you got some guys that have plenty of power, but Schwarber out a couple games, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe they've been counting on him a lot to give all the power, but there are guys in this lineup that need to step up at this given point. A lot of these guys were hot a week ago, and now they've cooled off, and it's getting ugly, but I have the cure. You're going to Great American Ballpark, and that, to me, I call it a wiffle ball field.
You got to like that.
Ball will fly out of that place.
Got to like that. How about Zack Wheeler, who has had his way historically with his former team? Not today. Here's Wheeler postgame in the clubhouse.
4th inning, a lot of soft contact there with 2 outs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is tough. Today was one of the better days that I felt this season, just stuff-wise and how I felt on the mound. So it was a frustrating day for me. Just a lot of soft hits. There's a few hard hit balls, but mostly just some soft hits, and just found the right spots, and that's what made it a little more frustrating today.
What were you trying to do with that 0-2 to Kane? That was a big pitch there.
Yeah, so I wanted to go fastball up and away, and it just came back over. It was frustrating because I nailed those first 2 away, and I felt really good with my fastball today. I felt behind it and felt like it was a true spin and pretty straight, pretty true. So that was frustrating for sure. This happened a few times this year where I have a guy 0-2 and I give up a hit or something like that. So it's one thing I try to concentrate on a little bit more today with off-speed stuff was, if I got guys 2 strikes, try to bury it a little bit more rather than trying to get them to chase and maybe leave it up where they can touch it. So the off speed was there today, and you just got to take the good out of the bad and just go with that. I'll face these guys next weekend or whatever it is. So yeah, I'll be ready to go.